I'm Casey Claiborne, and thanks for watching this CrimeWatch YouTube exclusive, where we're taking a look at some of the most talked about crime stories this week around Texas. Local leaders have responded after Fox 7 Austin first reported about the Indian Hills neighborhood in southeast Austin being shot up. Hundreds of bullet holes can be seen in homes and cars. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis spoke with the residents who say they still need help and support. They say they just want to be able to be in their homes without constant fear.
This is not normal, and I refuse to allow this to be our normal.
Residents say they've had 3 drive-by shootings in the last few months, one in broad daylight. Hundreds of bullet holes fill homes and cars in the Indian Hills neighborhood off East William Cannon Drive in southeast Austin.
It's like 15, 20 rapid fire. There's children all along this street. It's just not safe to be on this street right now.
Neighbors are scared to talk in fear of retaliation, but they say they want something to be done.
It's a fool me once, fool me twice. We're looking at 3 times now, and the second shooting was in broad daylight. So what's going on? What do we need to do to fix this? It's absurd that it's still happening.
Neighbors are growing impatient, wondering if their house will be hit next. They're calling for more patrol and support.
Right now it's pretty quiet. We rarely see police down the street at all anyways. So I think that would be a good step, but also catch them already.
The Austin Police Department said in a statement, this is an active investigation and they're unable to discuss it to preserve the integrity of the investigation.
Haven't seen them drive up and down the street at all. Not much of a presence here.
Austin City Council member Vanessa Fuentes said in a statement she's in contact with APD and has reached out to concerned citizens to learn about their experiences and direct them to city services for victims of violent crime. She says, quote, "My frustrations and fears are with those affected in the area. Nobody should live in fear of violence in their own neighborhood."
I would like to see more support for the neighborhood. People are scared, and we're in our homes. That's supposed to be the safest place for you, and people don't feel safe in their homes.
Police have arrested 5 teenagers in connection with a murder in South Austin. 17-year-old Darian Anderson, 18-year-old Ahmed Al-Hazali, 18-year-old John Willard, 17-year-old Xavier Walton, and an unnamed 16-year-old are all now behind bars. On Wednesday, July 20th, Austin police believe the teens shot and killed Roni Alfredo Mateo Camapa while he was pumping gas at a Texaco on Old Torf. Police say the teens then drove off in the victim's car. Officers found his vehicle abandoned less than 3 miles away on Elmont Drive. Police say the teens tried to shoot someone else during a drive-by shooting before ultimately killing and carjacking Mateo Camapa. He was an innocent bystander. 4 of the suspects are being held in the Travis County Jail. The 16-year-old was taken to the Gardner Betts Juvenile Center. Manor police are searching for the driver who killed a man in a hit-and-run crash. Police say the victim, 38-year-old David Ponce, is a longtime resident of Manor who would be seen walking around the downtown area. He was hit by a driver on Lexington Street at 8:15 the night of September 28th. An unknown vehicle hit the victim and did not stop. The road was closed for hours during the crash investigation. Detectives believe the people in these vehicles might know something. These are surveillance photos of the vehicles that were in the area. They're not the suspect vehicles, just people who might have seen what happened. It's 50 times more potent than heroin and 100 times more potent than morphine. Now, fentanyl, illegally sold on the streets, is being made to look like a piece of candy. Fox 7 Austin's Carissa Limco has more on rainbow fentanyl.
Brightly colored,
designed to look like candy,
but potentially deadly.
We know from lab testing that these rainbow fentanyl is just as dangerous and just as deadly as other forms of fentanyl.
Rainbow-colored fentanyl found in 21 states, including Texas, as of Thursday, in multiple forms, says the DEA, pills, powder, and blocks resembling sidewalk chalk.
Drug cartels are using social media and other platforms to flood our communities, like Kyle, with deadly fentanyl.
That was Austin's assistant special agent in charge, Tyson Hodges, earlier this month, sounding the alarm in Hays County after 4 local teens died from suspected fentanyl overdoses just this summer. That was before rainbow fentanyl came on the radar.
It's got new shiny packaging just in time for Halloween.
Running a treatment center in Elgin, Peter Pereno has seen its power.
Real small amounts can kill you, like that.
Cutting counterfeit drugs with fentanyl creates a stronger high at a cheaper cost for drug dealers.
You know, if there are mass ODs on a certain product, lots of times people seek out that product because they know that it's strong and they want to get the most they can for their dollars.
But many aren't seeking out fentanyl. They want a cheap Xanax or Adderall. These days, that's really a game of Russian roulette.
My parents used to talk to me about drunk driving. The conversations that I have with youth now are like, do y'all have, do you have Narcan when you go to parties? Even if your kid is not using, they could save someone else's life.
To Dallas now, where police have released body camera video of an officer's deadly shootout with an armed suspect. And we do need to warn you, it may be disturbing to some viewers. As Fox's Sean Rabb reports, no officers were hit, but the suspect was killed in his front yard.
I just saw an older white male with a gun. He had it in the air. He was in the middle of the street.
You're about to see an officer's worst fear, a close encounter gunfight. You will also see bravery in the manner in which these officers handled this unfortunate and life-threatening situation. You will also see an officer remain in a gun battle with a suspect as she is actively taking rounds to a door that she's behind.
Alpha 291, I'm out.
First officer to arrive, Brandy Walling.
Put the gun down! Drop the gun!
Before she's out of her squad car parked right in front of the house, she sees 64-year-old Darrell Hibbert, a man with no felonies and no violent history. For longer than a minute and 16 seconds, over 24 times, she pleads with him to drop the gun. Officer Jason Rosenberg's approaching the address from the north, and then Brandy Walling yells.
Put it down!
Walling and Rosenberg engage. Left leg injured and bleeding, her unit taking damage from the gun battle, but she is not shot.
Stay down!
Wounded, Walling still giving commands that police say Hibbert continued to ignore.
As the suspect was on the ground, he was still firing or pointing his weapon at officers. As it all transpired,
Causing the third officer, Otillo Valdez Sanchez Jr., to fire his weapon.
Alpha 292, suspect down.
Ma'am, get back in the house.
Hibbert's family members say that was his mother the officer was talking to on the porch, trying to get him to put the gun down. They say he was unresponsive, almost like he did not hear her.
Don't move!
The chief says more loaded guns were on the porch, and the bomb squad searched the home after detectives were told there may have been explosives inside. None were found. The chief wants to know more about Hibbert's history.
this is a tragedy for the family and friends of Mr. Hibbard, but it is also a tragedy to our officers who were involved yesterday morning. This is never our intended outcome.
Sean Rabb, Fox 4 News.
And finally to Houston, where some of the nation's leading law enforcement officers met as part of a major effort to fight violent crime throughout the city. Fox's Damali Keith from our sister station in Houston has more on the initiative.
We selected Houston for a very important reason. Like many communities across this country, it is a community that continues to struggle with violent crime.
According to the Justice Department, Houston was also picked for the unique law enforcement partnerships used to successfully investigate criminals, which is the foundation of the new DOJ initiative. Local, state, and federal agencies collaborating, coming together for one goal.
To first identify and then prosecute the worst of the worst gangs and gang members who are disproportionately responsible for the violent crime.
Gangs, we might say, we call today the modern day mafia.
We're going to use every resource available to make sure that we're dismantling gangs.
We are adding 5 trial attorneys from the department's criminal division to work alongside our Houston U.S. Attorney's Office assistant U.S. attorneys from our violent crime section.
The group will also use federal laws such as the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization, or RICO Act, so that violent offenders
will be arrested, will not be released on bond, and will receive significant prison sentences.
Everybody knows our backlog in Houston-Harris County. It's unlike any other county in the nation right now. So thank you DOJ for stepping up and coming in and helping us.
Another tool the team will use, the ATF's National Integrated Ballistics Information Network, which stores data about shell casings from crimes.
So that when we recover the gun, we know everything that gun's been used for and the individual that had it, what they're responsible for.
Houstonians say they welcome the crackdown.
We hear a lot more sirens than we used to hear, so it's important to try and keep our city safe.
It's a big city, it's a melting pot, it's a great place, but we need to look at our justice system.
Thanks for watching this Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch. Our exclusive Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. Again, to learn more about the stories featured today, look for the links below this video. You can also find more stories on our website, fox7austin.com, or you can subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.